5 pitchers combined on a shutout win for the Durham Bulls last night as they take the series opener with the Syracuse Mets. The wild card leading Bulls look for a second straight win. It's the Bulls and the Syracuse Mets next. Second game of a 6-game homestand tonight, and a great start the Bulls got off to last night. Shutout victory over the Syracuse Mets. Hi, once again, everybody. Patrick Keenis alongside former Florida Marlins outfielder Scott Pose. And Scott, 8th shutout of the year for the Bulls. And in the year of the Major League Baseball is being used at AAA, shutouts are like blue moons. It's a big win for the Bulls last night. Well,
an outstanding job by the pitching staff. Rick Knapp has to be happy with the 5 pitchers that rolled out. Throw up a shutout against a Syracuse Mets team that can swing the sticks a little bit. But anytime you get the shutout, you can take it. But the Bulls played very well. They executed early in the game with situational hitting. That really set the tone, and were able to scratch across 5 runs and made that stand up. That was a good start to this homestand.
And only a couple of dozen regular season games left. With that win, the Bulls did pick up ground on first place. Gwinnett trailed by just 2.5, but the wild card is going to be that last playoff spot. Bulls are 3.5 games up on Charlotte. Syracuse with the loss trails by 7. All right, Scott, let's talk about the 2 starting pitchers. The Bulls will go short tonight with Arturo Reyes. Then we'll see Ricardo Pinto, and then it'll be Corey Oswalt making the start. He's been up and down with the Mets a couple of times, but he's coming off of an injury.
Well, the Bulls are going to try the formula that worked last night and see if the bullpen can mix things up and baffle the Mets once again. And Oswalt, on the other hand, he's coming down from the major leagues, but he's a sinker slider guy, but he primarily works on his change, and he'll use some drop to that too. But what he has to do is locate his pitches and hit his spots and work on the corners. If he can do that, he'll have success, but can the Bulls hitters make the adjustment? It's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be an interesting lineup too for the Bulls. Nate Lowe starts at third base. Mac James at first base. Kevin Padlow, his second ever start at second. We'll watch that when Pinto takes the mound. He's a power sinker guy with that Bulls infield. Scott and I are coming back. It's the Bulls and Syracuse Mets, game 2 of this 3-game series. Stay tuned for baseball.
Good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to Durham Bulls Athletic Park on the corner of Jackie Robinson and Blackwell. Downtown Durham, North Carolina, as this 6-game homestand for the Bulls continues. A successful debut last night, 8th shutout of the year. 5 Bulls pitchers combined on a 5-hit shutout in a 5-0 win over the Syracuse Mets. Could see more of the same here tonight. Arturo Reyes, the only all-star pitcher on the Bulls earlier this season. He'll be limited to a 2-inning outing here tonight. Then we expect to see Ricardo Pinto throw the bulk innings behind him. Reyes 7-6, an earned run average of 5.19. 27-year-old, grew up in the Pacific Northwest. He's had an award in Washington and pitches college ball at Gonzaga. So Reyes ready to go. Comes off of a 9-6 loss in Charlotte back on Wednesday, so he's on a couple of extra days rest. And here's the lineup card he will face tonight for the 57-57 Syracuse Mets, managed by Tony DeFrancesco. And the lineup is brought to you by Pepsi, born in the Carolinas. And at the top of the order, Rajai Davis added to the active roster for the Mets before the game today. Davis is the DH. Then it's Danny Espinosa at second base, Ruben Tejada at shortstop batting third, and Dilson Herrera once again cleans up. Herrera starts at first base. Arismendi Alcantara is the third baseman. He'll bat fifth. Gregor Blanco in left, Reimer Liriano in right hits seventh. Then it's Ali Sanchez behind the plate, and Braxton Lee in center field batting ninth. 3-man umpiring crew tonight. Eric Backus, crew chief, works the plate. Brennan Miller at first, Jose Navas at third. And it's a bit of a stuffy Wednesday night. Humidity is high. Heavy rains came through the Chapel Hill and Durham area right around, 2 o'clock, 2:30 this afternoon. But pristine conditions now. 81 degrees, ample sunlight. Winds are calm, and the lights are on, and we are ready for baseball. Reyes in the windup, and the first pitch skips into the backhand of his catcher, Michael Perez, and we are underway. Rajai Davis, 38-year-old World Series near hero for the Cleveland Indians a couple of years ago, swings away and fouls off a fastball, and it's 1-1. He's 287 this season with the Mets AAA affiliate. 7 home runs, 17 steals. And in the right-handed batter's box, Reyes winds up, and here comes the 1-1. And it's a breaking ball down and away, empty cut on a slider. Arturo Reyes, 86 innings of work. A model of consistency when he came to AAA Durham in early May for the 2.5 months. And he gets a check swing and a slider. It's into the dirt, and the appeal rejected by Brennan Miller. But July has been a bit of a rough month for Arturo Reyes, a .924 with a mark of 1-3. And talking with Brady Williams before the game, they're just trying to lighten the load on him and try and get him back into normal form. Here's the 2-2 from Reyes. Empty cut, a little cut fastball down and away, and Rajai Davis is down on strikes.
Well, it was a steady diet of breaking pitches from Arturo Reyes to Rajai Davis, and it was good quality pitches. It had that low in the zone quality, but then the bottom just dropped out of it. And once Davis showed that he had the propensity to swing at it, Reyes is going to stick with it, and he does.
So a good beginning for Arturo Reyes, and now Danny Espinosa, switch hitting second baseman, was 1 out of 4 last night. Espinosa, 15 home runs, leads the team with 68 knocked in, swings away, bounces one through the middle. But the shortstop is Daniel Robertson to the other side of the bag to retrieve the hopper and throws out Espinosa. 2 routine outs for Reyes, and it'll bring up Ruben Tejada.
A good sink on this pitch that gets Espinosa to hit it right into the shift. Robertson had it played perfectly, and with the short outing, the only concern I would think that Rick Knapp has is Reyes is a sinker guy, but knowing that he only has 2 innings, he might air it out a bit and throw through that sink. That's something to take in consideration, but it wasn't evident on that ground ball, and it's 2 quick outs in the inning.
So now here is Tejada. Had one of those 5 Syracuse hits last night. Tejada off to a .343 start with the Mets and takes strike 1, 91 at the knees on the outside corner. The other thing that would come to mind for me in this Reyes abridged start tonight is knowing you only have 2 innings.
Right.
Psychologically, because as a starting pitcher, you're trained to go as long as you can with the stuff that you have, but he knows it's going to be truncated here tonight.
Well, you see it all the time with starters that become relievers. Their velocity picks up because they're only going an inning. You're not conserving. You're not keeping that ace in the back pocket. You're turning it loose because you know your outing's going to be shorter than you're used to.
And an empty cut. There's the slider from Reyes, and he gets bookend strikeouts and a perfect first inning. So Reyes makes quick work of the Mets, and the Bulls will get their first look at Corey Oswalt when we return. Syracuse nothing, and the Bulls coming up. A quick top of the first inning, turning by Durham's Arturo Reyes, needing only 9 pitches to retire the side in order. And now the Bulls will get their first look at Corey Oswalt, a 25-year-old out of San Diego. Stands 6'5", 7-2 with Syracuse this year, and a .338 earned run average, which is exceptional, especially with the usage of the MLB baseballs here at the AAA level. He pours in 91 at the knees of Daniel Robertson. Lineup card signed by Brady Williams, first-year manager of the Bulls. Looks like this as Robertson bats in the leadoff spot and takes over below. 1 ball, 1 strike. Robertson at shortstop. Keen Wong bats in the 2-hole. That is normal, but he's in left field for the first time in 2 months. Nate Lowe starts at third base for just the 4th time in his Bulls career. Michael Perez is the catcher batting cleanup, and Robertson pulls a ground ball past third and foul. Kevin Padlo on a new-look Bulls infield for the night. He's at second base tonight. Padlo bats 5th. Jason Coates in right. Nathan Lucas, the center fielder. The DH is Rocky Gale. He'll bat 8th, and Mac James starts at first. So Emilio Bonifacio getting the night off. Dalton Kelly, who just wrenched his shoulder a bit last night on a swing, he gets today off as Robertson takes a quarter swing and makes contact and taps it away foul. So Brady Williams has had to kind of play whack-a-mole with positioning guys on the infield here tonight for Durham, which leads you to the Lowe and James in the corner, Robertson and Padlo up the middle. Here's the 1-2, off speed, swing and a miss, and down goes Daniel Robertson to begin the Bulls' first inning.
Well, it was a steady diet of every pitch that we saw from Oswalt in that at bat. It looked to be the change that he finished off Daniel Robertson with. It was a breaking pitch, had Robertson out front. He swings right over the top.
Now Oswalt will take on Keen Wong, left-handed hitter, averaging .330 after picking up 2 more hits last night. Runs forward in the batter's box, fakes a bunt, and does get the bat back. And the pitch is ball one. Wong, the number 3 hitter in the league. Jake Cronenworth has been leading the league, but former Bull Jake Elmore has got back into a hitting run for Indianapolis. He'll be here this weekend, and he now leads them both. Ball 2 inside on Wong. Elmore 344. Cronenworth still on the injured list at 342. And Wong sitting at 330. Left-handed hitter, 2-0 pitch. He's a little down from Oswalt, ball 3. Oswalt, 58 innings of work for Syracuse, 55 strikeouts, only 9 walks. He was up and down twice earlier this year with the Mets. 2 appearances out of the New York bullpen, and there's a strike taken by Wong. But last year broke into the big leagues in late April, made 12 starts for the Mets, and was 3-3. But he's been on the injured list a couple of times. Missed about 5.5 weeks from late May to early July, and then in late July placed back on the IL, activated earlier today. 3 balls and a strike on Wong. His last appearance back on July 26th, 5 scoreless innings and a win over Toledo. Empty swing by Wong on a 3-1 fastball. So the question behind Oswalt would center on how long will we see him. Been on the shelf for about the last week and a half or so. 3-2 on the way, and Wong lifts a fastball left side, foul ground. Alcantara just kind of gives it a token glance. This ball slices back into the stands. Right, sunshine in center and in rights. Everybody else is cloaked in shadows tonight. So here's the 3-2, and Wong turns, rips it into the air, right field corner. It's gone. If it's fair, it is fair, and it is gone. It's number 8 for Wong, and a 1-0 Bulls lead in the first.
Well, this appeared to be a 3-2 slider that broke down and in, which is typically a lefty's happy zone, and Wong did not miss the pitch. He got the bat out front of the plate and then hit through it, creating that backspin. It puts the Bulls on top. Short swing, efficient one. Bulls are up 1-0.
Strike one, outer black on Nate Lowe. So number 8 for Wong. He just continues to hit. Having a career year. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Nate Lowe. With so much credit to Wong and how he's been able to deal with all of the adversity he has been a first-hand witness to over the last 12 or 14 months. Change up in the dirt, ball 2 on Nate Lowe. Lowe 291, 12 homers, 48 knocked in. It's his 4th minor league career start at third base. And Lowe, a little tapper, softly hit back toward the mound. Oswalt will pick up by his ankles and throw out Lowe.
I think that ball hit right on the plate. It deadened it for sure, but it was an easy play for Oswalt as he gets off the mound, gathers himself, and makes the play.
So 2 outs to nobody on. Bulls leading 1-0 on the home run by Wong. So that will bring up the newest 27-year-old member of the Durham Bulls. Happy birthday, Michael Perez. Left-handed hitting catcher tonight, and he swings and misses off speed downstairs. Perez 232 over his time with the Bulls. The wind by Oswalt, and the pitch home is sliced out of play left side, strike 2. Bulls right now carrying 3 catchers on their active roster. One of them is playing first base tonight, Mac James. And the other just acquired a few days ago with Rocky Gale. Swing and a miss, high fastball, and Perez down on strikes. Home run yanked into the right field corner by Kean Wong gives Reyes and the Bulls the first lead of the night. And after 1 in Durham, Bulls 1, Mets nothing. Emerge Ortho, team physicians for the Durham Bulls. They're the region's premier orthopedic specialty practice. 11 orthopedic urgent cares in the Greater Triangle. They provide you with a less stressful, less expensive alternative to the emergency room. emerge stronger, healthier, and better. Head to emergeortho.com for details. Bulls 1, Mets nothing. Second inning, Dilson Herrera, right-handed hitter, opens the frame against Arturo Reyes, who sinks one low. Herrera, the cleanup hitter for the Mets last night, was 0 for 4. Comes in with 22 home runs and an average of 247. And there's ball 2 outside off the mid of Perez. Now just a 9-pitch first inning for Arturo Reyes, which makes you wonder. Well, Brady Williams said in the pregame this would be a 2-inning outing for Arturo Reyes. Maybe they have a certain number of pitches they'd like to have him at least reach. Bouncy ball down to third. 2 hops. Nate Lowe, the clean play, and throws out Herrera. So 12 pitches, 4 outs. You know, maybe they bring him out for a third if the pitch count is at 18 or 20 after a couple of innings, Scott.
Well, the key is to keep his number of pitches limited, but if he's being this efficient, you know, I would expect him to stretch him out, and I would guess that cap's going to be right around 30, 36 pitches.
And no sign of Ricardo Pinto getting loose or stretching it all yet. So here is Alcantara, 27-year-old switch-hitting third baseman. And the wind by Reyes, first pitch, zips in for a strike at 92. Take a look at the defense behind Reyes. In the outfield for Durham, Wong playing left, Lucas in center, shading his eyes and rights is Jason Coates. Sun right in his face. Ground ball pulled to the right side. This will be another easy out. Padlo makes the play and throws out Alcantara. So 14 pitches to retire 5 hitters. Now Rick Knapp has actually just waved Brady Williams over. They want to have a little chat here because Reyes is pitching so effectively here. And Rick Knapp wants to know, do we keep him in for maybe another inning if he finishes up with Gregor Blanco in quick fashion?
Well, he has been very efficient. He's had good movement on that sinker. The breaking stuff's been outstanding down in the zone. He's inducing soft contact and missing a lot of barrels.
It's a good problem to have so far. And his sinker at the knees of Gregor Blanco, the left fielder. Blanco, 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. He's played all over the outfield this year for Syracuse. And the pitch on the lefty runs a little bit wide. Williams and Knapp are still discussing things in the front corner of that Bulls dugout. Although I do see DeShenko Ricardo leaving the Bulls dugout, heading down toward the bullpen. Here's the pitch. Big looping curveball for a strike on Blanco. Ball and 2 strikes on Blanco. Reyes has with ease retired the first 5. And there's a curveball, swing and a miss, and down goes Blanco. And if that's the end of the night for Arturo Reyes, he gets through Syracuse on 18 pitches, 9 in the first inning, 9 in the second inning, and he set down the first 6. Will he continue? We'll find out. Middle of 2 from Durham. Bulls 1, Mets nothing. Home run by Kean Wong has Durham on top 1-0 as we reach the bottom of the second inning. Durham Bulls baseball was brought to you by Papa John's, the official pizza of the Bulls. Strike 1 on Padlo. If the Bulls score 4 runs or more tonight, head to papajohns.com tomorrow if you're in the Triangle and use the promo code 4BULLS. That will get you 4 free toppings on a large for only $9.99. Swinging a foul tip. Padlo down 0-2 against Corey Oswalt. High school draftee by the Mets from Madison High out in San Diego. He's 0-2 on Padlo, hitting .339 since his call up from Double-A. And a fastball misses the zone, 1-2. Pretty impressive opening inning by Oswalt, but just missed his location on that 3-2 pitch to Wong. Here's the 1-2, and a fastball right on that outside corner, and Padlo reaches right through it. Third strikeout for Oswalt.
A good location by Oswalt. He really hit a spot on this last pitch. Padlo tried to get a piece of it, but could not. And that ball had a little bit of carry through the zone, too. He's shown a propensity to throw that changeup, but yet that adds something to the fastball. Padlo was a little bit behind it.
So 1 out, nobody on. Here's Jason Coates. He stares at strike 1 as we take a look at the defense behind Oswalt. Outfield of Blanco, Lee, and Liriano for the Mets. Alcantara at third base, Tejada the shortstop. Espinosa and Herrera on the rights. And that one barely missed the outside corner. 92 for the first time tonight from Oswalt.
Oswalt's really been working that glove side of the plate. He wanted that call there. Coates, it was a good take, but a close one.
Ali Sanchez, the catcher. And that changeup with some Arm side run off the plate inside, ball 2 on Coates. Coates 251, 15 home runs, which leads the active Bulls roster. 40 RBIs. Drew a couple of walks, scored a run last night. And stole a base. Here's the 2-1 from Oswalt. And a fastball with some carry through the outside corner at the knees. 2-2. Ready is Oswalt. Here's the pitch. And there's that fastball right in the outside corner again. And a flailing cut to protect by Coates.
That defensive swing. When you have 2 strikes as a hitter, you just do anything you can to get the barrel to the ball to live to see another pitch. Coach just executed that.
Bulls 1, Mets nothing. Second inning. Crowd still filing in on this Wednesday night. And Oswalt's delivery ran it up and in, and Coates swings through it. One of the few fastballs Coates saw in that at bat that was kind of tucked in near the corner. And another strikeout for Oswalt. He already is halfway to his season high. That's 4.
Well, we have already seen Oswalt do a good job of commanding the outside part of the plate. This ball he runs up and in and ties up Coates underneath his hands. That's pitching east to west.
So the first 2 outs belong to Oswalt. Now Nathan Lucas thought about dropping a bunt down and took a wild one to the backstop. That is kind of a developing part of Lucas's game. You know, if you compare Keen Wong and his propensity to bunting and Jake Cronenworth's lack of bunting at the bottom, Lucas is somewhere in the middle of those two. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Try to hold back at a high fastball. They appeal to third, and it is denied. Ball 2.
Well, this could be a big part of Lucas's game as he brings a lot to the table. Great defensive routes. We've talked about that. But he's going to be a guy in a lineup that has to do the little things, and bunting is one of those little things. And if he could develop that skill, his stock does nothing but increase.
2-0 pitch. Outside ball 3. What we know about Nathan Lucas from his time in high school to his time in college, he is a worker. I mean, he is a worker bee. He will do what he needs to do to try and elevate, his skill set. In his first AAA season, 207 with Durham, and he takes a little bit of high, ball 4. So there's the first walk of the night issued by Oswalt. It comes with 2 outs in the second inning. And walk brought to you by My Eye Doctor. And Lucas is the first to admit that he does not have your typical top of the order and center field speed as part of his package, but he's a very good base runner. And as you mentioned, good reads, excellent routes in the outfield, something that he's just kind of developed over time. Now the question is, with 2 outs with him on and Rocky Gale up toward the bottom of the order, will Brady Williams give Lucas some free rein to maybe steal a base here? Lucas is a perfect 6 of 6 this year. He's held on by Herrera, stretching Oswalt, and he will make a sidearm move to first base, and the tag is late.
Well, the Mets thinking the same thing that we were, is Lucas likely will be on the move early in the count just because of where you are in the inning and the order. Get to second base into scoring position as quickly as possible to get driven in.
Pitch on Gale. Smacks a liner with a little sink out to left field. Blanco slides in, knocks the ball down. He trapped it. He'll pick up the Lewis ball. Gale stops at first base. Lucas goes first to third. Heavy top spin on that sinking line drive. Blanco went across and then came in and slid. Tried to make a top of the grass catch, but at least kept the ball somewhere in his vicinity. And the Bulls have corner base runners with 2 outs.
Well, this ball dove, had some topspin like a Patrick Keena's forehand as it got right in front of Blanco as he tried to get the glove underneath it, but it bounces away, creates a first and third situation for your first baseman, which seems odd to say when Mac James comes to the plate.
So James now with a couple of other catchers on this roster turns more from a co-catcher to more of a utility guy. Some time behind the plate, but time of the corners. He's at first base tonight as Dalton Kelly gets the day off and strike one taken. And Nate Lowe getting a little bit more time working on his footwork and his hands down at third base. So that frees up James that started first tonight. Mac James, right-handed hitter, 211 with 4 home runs. And the 0-1 from Oswalt. They swing a little looper toward right field. Chasing Espinosa, runs the ball down in the outfield grass. Got a good read as that was flared behind him and tracked that ball down about 3 steps into the right field grass. Nice play. No runs, 1 hit, 2 stranded. And for 2 innings in Durham, Bulls on the strength of a Wong home run have a 1-0 lead on the Mets. Bulls baseball brought to you by the Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the Bulls. Life moves until back, neck, or shoulder pain brings us to a stop. That's why there's the Joint Chiropractic. They have a $29 new patient special. For details on that, visit thejoint.com. Well, Plan B already executed by Brady Williams and Rick Knapp. Fully expecting to limit Reyes to 2 innings tonight, but Reyes has been so perfect and so exact. 18 pitches over 2 perfect innings. They're going to grant him the third. And the first pitch is downstairs on Reimer Liriano, right-handed hitting right fielder. Signed with the Mets early in January. 224, 8 home runs, 26 knocked in. And the 1-0 pitch on Liriano is just a hair low, ball 2. We have not seen a Bulls starting pitcher this year throw 9 pitches in 1 inning, followed up by 9 pitches or less in another. There's the 2-0 pitch on Liriano, swinging a bouncing ball low his way, hops into foul territory, gloves it, but third base umpire Jose Navas points right. Nate Lowe still able to work on his footwork though.
Everybody wins.
Looking very nimble down there. Brady Williams is impressed. And Liriano back into the batter's box. Sanchez next, and then Braxton Lee. And the wind by Reyes. Here comes the 2-1. And that one scoots through the dirt, ball 3. 11 combined wins this year for Reyes, 4 in Double-A. That's where he spent the first month. Came up in really his first 2.5 months. I mean, you could book it 6 innings, maybe 7 with a couple of runs in any Reyes starts. Swing and a miss on a little cutter. Full count to Liriano. But Reyes in the month of July has suffered a bit, and Rick Knapp and Brady Williams trying to ease the workload on him. He's now thrown 116 innings coming into tonight between his innings here with the Bulls and a Double-A. Full on Liriano. Outfield straightaway, not too deep. And the wind by Reyes in the 3-2 goes off speed, misses wide. And there is the first base runner of the night for the Mets.
Reyes tried to come back with that breaking ball, and it does not come back to get a piece of the plate. It was a good take by Liriano. The Mets have their first base runner of the evening. Liriano aboard with nobody out.
Well, as that top of the second was winding down, DeShenko Ricardo had gone down toward the Bulls bullpen. But Ricardo Pinto was just kind of hanging out, you know, palm underneath his chin. He was not ready to go because Reyes was in such a masterful mode. Fastball runs inside, ball 1 on Ali Sanchez. And no stirring at all in that Durham Bulls bullpen. And I believe Ricardo went back into the Durham dugouts. If so, he is still there. Runner breaks. The pitch on Sanchez is chopped foul. Goes to the backstop. Liriano back to first base. Well, on the Syracuse team full of veterans. Rajay Davis 38, Blanco 35, Espinosa 32, along with others. Sanchez is only 22 years of age. And he's the youngest one on the roster. Bouncing ball softly hit toward Sharp. Charge into the grass, scooped by Robertson. Only play is first. And Sanchez retired as the tie and run in the form of Liriano heads to second base.
It was a good play by Robertson, and just experience talking here. There's no way you're going to turn 2 on this ball because it's hit so softly. Robertson charges it and knows his only plays at first. The Bulls get an out. Double play is now not in order, at least the traditional. You've got some speed at the plate with the tying run at second base.
So now it's Braxton Lee, the number 9 hitter in the order. Reyes has now matched his first and second inning output of pitches. He's thrown 9 in this third inning. And he drops in strike 1 on Braxton Lee. Braxton Lee, center fielder. 80 games at Double-A Binghamton through the middle of July and then got promoted here then. Hit 275 there in the Eastern League. And a pitch on Lee, breaking ball, strike 2. There's the Reyes curveball. Don't see a lot of those from Arturo Reyes, but we're seeing him throw everything he has in the quiver here in the first couple of innings, again, because he knows he doesn't need to hold anything back for later in the game, because tonight there won't be a later in the game for Arturo Reyes. Here's the 0-2. Off speed, popped up. Nate Lowe's way behind the third base bag, moves foul, strays back fair, and makes a basket catch in fair territory. Well, that might be a little less impressive for Brady Williams, but like Brady said with Jesus Sanchez when he's playing right field, as long as he makes the catch, we'll work on the other things.
Well, the footwork wasn't the best, but yet he got underneath it, and the most important part, like Brady Williams suggested, was done. He caught the ball.
A nice smile on the face of Nate Lowe, who has come back from Tampa Bay, certainly disappointed, but with a very good attitude. I mean, just his presence in the clubhouse, certainly his presence in the middle of this Durham Bulls lineup, changes things significantly from the lineup the Bulls pieced together a couple of weeks earlier. Ball one on Rajai Davis. Struck out against Reyes in the first inning. 2 outs, runner at second. And the delivery from Reyes is low. Reyes just reintroduced back into this Syracuse active roster before today's game. So it's 2-0 on Davis. And the pitch on the way from Reyes is low, ball 3. But if you're like me, you know exactly where you were when Rajai Davis hit that home run in the World Series 3 years ago. It was Game 7. The Cubs and the Indians. It was the bottom of the 8th inning in Cleveland. Aroldis Chapman had just been brought into the game by Joe Madden for the Cubs. It's a hard ground ball toward third. That is a foul ball. Home plate umpire Eric Backus on the call. But the Indians put a rally together. Brandon Guyer, former Bull, doubled in a run to make it a 6-4 game. And then Rajai Davis worked a very long at-bat. Actually watched the at-bat about an hour and a half ago to remind myself of the tears that he brought to my eyes growing up in Chicago as a Cubs fan as a kid. And then hit an absolute rope down the left field line on a 98-mile-an-hour down and in fastball from Chapman to tie the game. Check swing foul. That would force Game 7 of the World Series into extra innings before the Cubs would win it. And another former Bull, Mike Montgomery, was able to close out and get the very last out as the Cubs won the World Series for the first time in over a century. Runner at second, 2 outs. The 3-2 from Reyes. Swing and a miss. Fool him on the pitch, ran inside. He wasn't expecting the location or the heat at 93, and a perfectly spotted pitch. And Arturo Reyes strikes out Davis to end the inning. Leadoff walk unconverted for Syracuse after 2.5. Bulls 1, Mets nothing. Durham Bulls baseball brought to you by Blueprint Brewing Company, Apex's first brewery. You can enjoy a Brew Diamond IPA out here at the DBEP while you are here with us this homestand. Plan for a great time. Grab a Blueprint. Patrick Keenis, Scott Pose. Scott, a former Syracuse Chief. Strike one in the knees on Daniel Robertson as we begin the bottom of the third. I want to pick your brain a little bit about your memories of playing up in Syracuse. You played at the older stadium, right?
Last year of MacArthur Stadium.
Ground ball feathered down the first baseline, foul. Handcuffs Herrera, but it's 0-2 on Robertson. Year?
1996.
Manager?
Richie Hebner.
Really? The Gravedigger.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a longtime Durham Bulls coach here. 0-2 counts on Robertson. Here's the pitch. And Oswald gets a bouncer foul off the hand. Still 0-2.
I know Hack very well. But on that team was Tomas Perez, Miguel Cairo, Shannon Stewart. All of those three had significant major league time.
0-2 wide by Oswald. Here's the pitch, and he crunches the inside corner at 90 miles an hour. That's about the same spot where Reyes put it against Rajai Davis to end the third inning. Davis took an ugly-looking swing at it. Robertson couldn't even pull the trigger. 5 strikeouts now by Oswalt.
With 2 strikes, you're trying to protect that outside part of the plate, and if you don't pull the trigger early on an inside fastball with a little velocity on it, you get frozen. And that happened more times than I'd like to admit in my career.
And here's Kian Wong, takes a breaker a little bit low. Wong a homer inside the right field foul pole and a 3-2 pitch off of Oswalt. See how the sequencing changes now. Runs a fastball in, clips the corner. Ricardo Pinto is now up and throwing in the Durham pen. So scheduled 2-inning start extends to 3 because Reyes was so good the first couple. Swing and a miss. Challenge Wong with a fastball. Reyes, 9 pitches in the first, 9 pitches in the second, 18 in the third. And his night will be done after 3 hitless innings. 1-2 to Wong. That tails back, gets the inner black, and Wong's unhappy. Fastball with some movement, worked it back to the edge. And there is the 6th strikeout by Oswalt.
Nice job by Oswalt of starting this pitch off the plate, and the ball does tail back to get the inside corner. And again, speeds up the hitter inside. If you don't pull the trigger early, you're going to freeze, and that one freezes Wong.
2 outs, nobody on. Here is Nate Lowe, the nimble Bulls third baseman. And a fastball, bottom of his knees, strike 1. Well, you talked last night early in the game. You made the comment it looked like a hitter's zone. Tonight, it looks like a pitcher's zone.
I would agree with that assessment.
0-1, off speed low. Ball and a strike on Nate Lowe. His first 2 stints in the big leagues in his career earlier this year with Tampa Bay. And that one bounces through. 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's a former American League Player of the Week.
Yes, he is.
In the box.
Not Rookie of the Week, folks. American League Hitter of the Week. Option down by Tampa Bay. First day of August. 2-1 on the way. Is hit in the air with some punch. Left center. Blanco back. Looking back at the monster. This one's going to go. Over the monster in left center field. Nate Lowe. Club's number 13. And it's a 2-0 Bulls lead in the bottom of the third. Thanks to a couple of solo home runs against Oswalt.
Well, this is Nate Lowe. That's where his pop is. He can hit the ball out to left and left center as good as any left-handed hitter can. And he got a pitch that was out over the plate and a short swing. He didn't overswing on this at all, but it shows the power and the strength that he has and the bat speed that he's able to generate that kind of carry out of the ballpark. It's a pretty swing, and it puts the Bulls up another run.
2-0 Durham. Wong a homer in the first. Lowe a home run here in the third. And Michael Perez in the box takes strike 1. And now misses a high fastball, strike 2. Lowe hit 5 major league home runs with Tampa Bay over his 30 games. And now his 13th with Durham, so 18 combined this year. And the 0-2 pitch, a little bit tight under the hands. And again, Lowe back with Durham after the Rays acquired Jesus Aguilar from the Milwaukee Brewers the morning of the deadline a week ago. 1-2 is a liner to center field, sinking. In comes Braxton Lee, makes the catch at the bill of his blue cap. And the Bulls are done in the third inning. Home run by Lowe to the opposite field on a 2-1 pitch from Oswalt. We're through 3 innings, and Ricardo Pinto will inherit a lead. To the 4th we go. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Five Guys Burgers and Fries. They will donate $25 to the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina every time the Bulls go deep at the DBAB this year. So $50 more donated by Five Guys with the 2 home runs tonight. 9 locations all around the triangle for Five Guys, serving the area for the last decade and a half. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Ricardo Pinto is now in for the Bulls. Arturo Reyes, 3 hitless innings, fan 4, walked 1, and now turns it over to Pinto. 25-year-old Venezuelan-born who's had a terrific season for Durham, really in this role. First pitch showing bunt, stepping out of the box is Espinosa. It's a strike anyway from Pinto. Now the last time the Bulls saw Pinto, he actually started on August the 1st. That was as the Bulls wrapped up in Charlotte. He went 6 innings through 87 pitches. And a changeup is foul tipped. But with Sunday's rain out, with Monday's off day, with new pitchers coming, other pitchers going, a chance to kind of reshuffle and reorder your pitchers, but guys need work. And the combination of limiting Reyes' innings, at least in this start tonight, backed up by Pinto, who's really on an extra day rest. And the right-hander comes home on Espinosa, and a breaking ball popped up. It's out of play left side. So it all makes sense, but these are, it's almost like, you know, solving the quadratic formula in the Durham Bulls manager's office with Rick Knapp, the pitching coach, and Brady Williams trying to figure out how many pitches does this guy have? When is going to be the right time to slot him in? And then how do you adjust on the fly like we saw a little bit tonight?
Well, it creates some challenges, but Rick Knapp is an experienced coach. He's been coaching for many years, and I'm so glad to see him get that first championship last year. The Bulls would like to see it repeat, but I go off on a tangent. He's very capable of handling the staff and the arms, and the other good thing, you mentioned it last night, Patrick, you had the rain out and the off day. You've got rested arms to work with. That makes your job a lot easier.
Our fans love your tangents, Scott.
I doubt that.
I get emails about your tangents every day. Foul tip held on to by Perez, and Espinosa down on strikes. 94 from Pinto. And here's what he brings to the table. I mean, he can throw the four-seamer 95 to 96 miles an hour, but he also can sink it. And it's one of the better sinkers from a right-handed pitcher in this league. Induces a ton of ground balls. Doesn't always lean on it, but when he has a double play situation to get him out of trouble, that's his go-to pitch. The changeup is good, slider is good, but the sinker is his number one pitch.
Well, a sinker is a great pitch, and what makes it unusual, at that velocity, you usually throw through it, it's straight, but yet he's able to generate movement at higher velocity, which has made it tough on International League hitters.
He fires a fastball at the front shoulder of Ruben Tejada. Tejada fan on 3 pitches in the first inning against Reyes. Pinto's 21st game with the Bulls, 7-4. Again, almost all of that time comes out of the bullpen, a 4.04 earned run average. Here's the one, the right-hander's 1-0. And this one is pulled in the air to left field, did not quite get it. Into the alley goes Kian Wong, and he'll make the play. Down off of the barrel, the pitch was up and in just enough, denying Tejada a chance to get extended.
Missed the barrel. Good things can happen when you're on the mound, and that's exactly what happened here. Tejada had a good swing at it. The ball got in on him just enough to make it a relatively easy play for Kian Wong in left field.
All right, 2 outs now for Dilson Herrera. Bulls 2, Mets nothing, 4th inning. And the pitch from Pinto, a high strike on the inside corner at 94. Now, Pinto is one of those guys, a non-roster pitcher that the Rays have a lot of faith in, especially with how his stuff is played in this league this year. First year in the Rays system, but big league time 2 years ago with Philadelphia. Broken bat, looper up the middle, right behind the bag is Padlo, and Herrera loops out to end the inning. So Pinto, no trouble transitioning from the bullpen to following Reyes tonight. A 1-2-3 top of the 4th. Still 2-0 Durham after 3.5. Bulls baseball brought to you by Coastal Credit Union. And here's their triple play. Spend less, save more, bank better. At bankbetter.org. Coastal Credit Union. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Bottom of the 4th. And Kevin Padlo starts off the frame with an empty cuts on a slider from Corey Oswalt. Padlo starting at second base tonight. A couple of other opportunities at second base earlier this year as Oswalt misses low. But I talked to Padlo after BP today, and I said, in your life, have you ever played second base before these tiny opportunities? He said, no. And nowhere in his pro career, nowhere in his high school career, nowhere in his Pony League, Little League, Peanut League, T-ball did he ever play second base. And he flashed a smile and said, I'm ready. One by Oswalt, and a breaking ball low.
It's always fun to play a new position. I played first base for 1 inning.
Really?
One time. I did. We ran out of players, and Richie Havner put me in at first base in Pawtucket. I was playing for Syracuse. Got a ground ball, made the play.
2-2 was low. Who hit it? You remember every detail.
I don't remember that, but I do remember I made the play. It was the only one that I needed to make, but I was ready, and it was just fun because you'd never done it before,
Sure.
right? You've seen it a million times, but filled the need. Can't remember if we won or lost either.
3-2 pitch. Fastball in, popped up. Sanchez isn't exactly sure where it is, but now we will hear it land on the roof.
I do remember the request when Hack said, Posey, go over there and play first. And I looked at him. He said, yeah, I mean it, go. I'm like, okay. Not going to ask twice.
If you make a mistake over there, I'm not digging your grave. You're digging your own grave, buddy. 3-2 on the way from Oswalt. And a fastball away, lifted behind first. Herrera chases down the line. Liriano charges, calls him off, and makes the catch in fair territory. Pablo flies out. Good play by Liriano. Had the best angle of all of them. Espinosa was not quite close enough to make that play. Liriano and Herrera exchange a little joking comments, and there's one out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Well, you mentioned, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get a ball at first base. I think that's probably the biggest disappointment of this season for any Bull, as coach fights one off foul, is when Ryan Merritt, Bulls left-handed pitcher, played right field for 4 innings in Toledo. This was not an extra inning game. The Bulls had a couple of injuries. So Merritt was playing right field for 4 innings. Not a single ball hit his way. Not even a base hit that he had to field. He just stood out there, looked the part, and didn't get a single moment of action out there.
Another memory I have, I started in left field and David Cohn was pitching for the Yankees. This is in 1997. The entire game.
Pitch on coach, fouled into the mid of Sanchez. He strikes out. 2 outs in the fourth.
The entire game, I didn't get a ball. Not one. Not one. Stood out there for 9 innings.
Still got paid, right?
I did.
Check
I wasn't
cleared.
complaining, but I told Coney afterwards, hey, come on, how about a little love? I like watching you work, but let me get some action.
Well, when Coney was at his best, not a lot of guys put the ball in play against him. 2 outs not on. Curveball drops on the inside corner against Lucas. Well, we owe you the Papa John's trivia question. Let's get to it now, Scott.
Well, this is a fun one. Who is the Mets' career leader in batting average? Good luck, because it surprised me.
Pitch jams Lucas, fights it off into the stands over the Syracuse dugout. So again, the trivia question is, who is the Mets' career leader
in batting average?
In hitting.
That's right.
Hashtag Papa John's NC, or you can email bullsbroadcast@gmail.com. 1 winner per household every 30 days. And the 0-2 is fouled off. And if you are tonight's winner, you'll receive a voucher for a free Papa John's pizza at the owned and operated locations here in the Triangle.
Did Jake get in on any of our trivia questions
No, I
since
haven't
his
heard.
move to Milwaukee?
He's been too busy pitching for the Brewers. But he knows how disappointed I am in him right now. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's down and in with a breaking ball. Although I say that, I did check emails earlier this morning. His dad is still submitting guesses. And he said, if I win, give Jake the voucher. Oh, I miss that family. Pitch on Lucas. Fastball middle away, fouled off. That almost snuck past Lucas. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bulls 2, Mets nothing, 4th inning. Tampa Bay lost earlier today, closing out their series against Charlie Montoyo's Toronto Blue Jays, a 4-3 final. Brendan McKay took the loss. Pitch on Lucas, swing and a miss, pitch bounced in. Escapes Sanchez by a couple of feet, and from foul territory, arcs the throw right into the glove of Herrera. And that strikeout ends the inning. 2 more for Oswalt, which gives him 8 through 4 innings against Durham. But he trails by 2 after a couple of solo home runs. After 4 complete, Bulls 2, Mets nothing.
Leading off for the Mets, the third baseman, number 10, Arismendi Alcantara.
Bulls 2, Mets nothing, top of the 5th inning. Durham Bulls baseball brought to you by our great friends at Couch Oil Company, celebrating their 70th year, serving Durham and the entire Triangle community. And the 5th year of the Couch Oil Cares College Scholarship, and the ceremony during the game tomorrow as they award 6 $1,000 college scholarships to 6 extremely worthy high school grads. And you will hear from all 6 of them tomorrow. I'm kicking Scott Pose off of the airwaves tomorrow night.
And many fans are appreciative of that. They thank you.
So thank you, Steve Couch, Janice Couch Thompson, and the entire Couch Oil team Couch Oil, the game sponsor tomorrow night. Pinto's 1-0 and a breaking ball in for strike one on Alcantara.
I am truly sorry I am missing it, though, Patrick, because it is a great, great event. And what they do in that promotion is tremendous. And to see the brightest young minds that are awarded those scholarships, it's truly a neat endeavor.
Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch from Pinto. 1-2 on Alcantara. Bulls with a 2-0 lead, fifth inning. Alcantara originally signed by the Cubs right after he turned 17 years of age. Fast left-handed, swings and hits a fastball to center, breaking back and then halting is Lucas. Now he walks in a step and makes the catch. So Alcantara, the Dominican-born utility guy, sails out to center field, and now it's Pinto on a little roll. He's retired all four that he has faced. One out for Gregor Blanco. Blanco fanned against Reyes in the second inning. And Pinto a little wide with a breaking pitch. Now Gregor Blanco talked about the great veterans that the Syracuse Mets team has this year. Blanco, 35 years of age. He has not one, but he has 2 World Series championship rings. Remember that run the Giants were on every even numbered year earlier in the decade? He was with the Giants in 2012 and again in 2014 when they beat the Royals. Pitch up and away. And not only was he on the roster, I total up his at-bats. How cool is it to have 49 World Series at-bats? That's how many at-bats that Blanco has had for the Giants in those 2 World Series championships. Shows butt, steps out, takes a strike. 3-1. And Scott, I don't know that I've asked you this before, but you were never on a postseason roster, were you?
No, that is not true. I was on the Yankees postseason roster against Cleveland in 1997. We lost in 5 games. The only time the Yankees lost in a span of 4 years, so it's clearly my fault.
Oh, my apology. A good play-by-play guy would have known that about his partner.
No, it was elated. I did not get into the game until the very last inning of the last game. And I was a pinch runner for Paul O'Neill after he hit a 2-out double. And I was out on second base. Bernie Williams was the next hitter. They changed pitchers after that. First pitch he swung at, pop out to center field, series over.
Blanco draws a walk with 1 out. Here's Liriano, the right fielder, and a stretching save by Perez on a wayward fastball from Pinto.
The appearance was so notable that in Joe Torre's book, he talked about taking Paul O'Neill out to have some other guy.
That's how you were referred?
Yes, some other guy pinch run.
I'm sure you have Joe Torre in your Rolodex. You just texted him and said, hey.
No.
Foul off of the foot of Liriano, deflects out to the mound.
I would not expect
And he would say, who is this? I don't have your number stored.
That's
to which
exactly
you would
right.
reply,
some
other guy. Liriano struggling to get to his feet. Left leg fully extended. He's wearing that shin guard on that left ankle, left shin, but it hit right above the plastic area, kind of just below the kneecap. And Liriano is being attended to by the athletic trainer for Syracuse. Grant Hufford. Meanwhile, Perez, celebrating his 27th birthday, goes out to talk with Pinto, and that was right above that shin protector he was wearing, kind of on the inside of that kneecap.
It's Murphy's Law. The ball's going to find where the pad is not. It hits above.
I mean, he's wearing armor all over the place. On that front upper arm, the front elbow. I mean, he's halfway to catching this game.
What was that show, American Gladiators, where they'd show up in the armor?
Yeah, I mean, he's halfway to Saber.
Oh, man. That leaves a mark.
Liriano is up, helmet back on. I'm drawing a blank, but now that you're bringing up American Gladiators, there was a player in this league a few years ago whose, I believe, mom was one of the American Gladiator versions in a foreign version of that show. 1-1, bouncy ball foul. I want to say it was maybe the Australian version of Gladiators.
So clearly this player never talked back to his mother.
Only once. Well, 2 strikes on Liriano. Blanco at first base, 1 out, 5th inning with the Bulls leading 2-0. Blanco does have 9 steals, not running. And there's that Pinto changeup on the outside corner. Empty swing, and Liriano down on strikes. Number 2 by Pinto. And now it's Ali Sanchez.
Well, this is a good put-away pitch because after fouling a ball off your shin, Liriano's really conscious of the pitch in. He's going to be guarding in and actually looking because you expect the pitcher to go right back in there. But this is a changeup away. It's away from where Liriano's looking. It's a weak swing and a good put-away pitch.
So now here's Sanchez, the catcher. Takes narrowly wide, ball 1. Sanchez is 22 years of age, made his AAA debut just last week. Playing in now his 5th game here for Syracuse. Hit 278 at AA Binghamton. Pinto the high hold. Blanco not running, and there's a fastball off of the foot of either Sanchez or the home plate umpire. I think it went off the home plate umpire because Sanchez went back to check on it. Everybody's getting dinged up tonight. Bulls lead 2-0. Wong a homer to the first. Lowe went opposite field in the 3rd. James holding Blanco on, a good lead. And Pinto the slide step. And there's the sinker. It's fouled again off of somebody's foot.
It's a really good arm side run on those plus fastballs that have been getting underneath the hands of these Mets hitters. Sanchez, the latest example on that last foul ball.
You know, I have to think when you have the scouting report and see Pinto throw, as a batter, you don't like it because of all the fouls off your body. I would imagine the umpires are probably not too thrilled to be behind the plate when Pinto is scheduled to throw. Eric Backus has been nicked a couple of times in this at bat alone. That pitch bounces in. Good block there by Michael Perez, holding Blanco at first base. Series wraps up with Syracuse tomorrow night, 7:05. Sam McWilliams scheduled to start for Durham against Drew Gagnon, who's 5-4. And the pitch inside, that may have nipped the orange jersey, and it did. So Sanchez gets hits, Blanco to second base. Tyne runs around with 2 outs ahead of Braxton Lee.
Now, you mentioned you like these orange jerseys and the way these uniforms kind of pop. And we were talking a little bit about the origins of the Mets and their colors. And I have to ask, do you remember the origin of the Mets colors and where they came from?
No, but I was fascinated by your explanation earlier.
In 1962, the Mets decided to pay homage to the teams that left New York, which were the Dodgers and the Giants. So they took a color from each, and they became the Mets colors as a balk is called.
Ball called on Pinto by the home plate umpire Eric Backus. So that moves Blanco to third, Sanchez to second. Second balk charge, and Brady Williams wants an explanation from the home plate umpire.
It may have been a false start, but it was pretty clear because as soon as Eric Backus called it, Jose Navas was all over it too. But he may have engaged the rubber and then did not step off properly.
So now no force out anywhere on the infield, and a base hit with 2 outs from Braxton Lee could tie the game. Syracuse has not scored yet in this entire series. Shutout last night and blanked 2 outs into the 5th as Pinto delivers high and wide. But no, it makes all the sense in the world to have the New York Mets AAA affiliate back in the International League. Perfect fit with Syracuse. The Mets bought the Syracuse organization franchise a couple of years ago and finally had to wait out the end of the PDC with the Nationals. Pinto's delivery, swing and a miss. Good change up there. Two-0 Bulls, 5th inning. Blanco at third, Sanchez at second. And the grip to Pinto. And the pitch to Braxton Lee. Off speed, top of the zone. And framed well by Perez. Strike 2 call.
And it's with the off speed. Pinto has this fastball available now to close out as Lee's gotten a look at those off speed pitches. He's slowed down in a sense. Now you could speed him up with something firm.
And blew 94 by him a couple of pitches earlier. Perez sets middle away. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. He is rolled away foul. Again, 7:05 tomorrow night. Final game of this series. Bulls will be in Syracuse next week. McWilliams against Gagno. I mispronounced his name terribly a moment ago. I'm sure that's not the first time.
Being experienced and playing in Syracuse, the Bulls are very glad to have this road trip in August. You don't want to have to face Syracuse in April in Syracuse, New York.
1-2, a swing and a miss. The change up beneath the zone. And Pinto battles through a walk, a hit by pitch, plus a balk. And Strand's 2 in scoring position. Middle of 5 from Durham. Bulls lead the Syracuse Mets 2-0. Bulls baseball brought to you by Crabtree Valley Mall, which is where you can take the family to turn a typical day into an amazing day. Shop Crabtree Valley Mall with over 200 stores and a wide array of casual to elegant dining choices. Crabtree Valley Mall on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Ricardo Pinto getting through a little bit of a scrape in the 5th inning, Stranding 2 in scoring position. And the Bulls still lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. As Rocky Gale starts the frame against Oswalt, and a fastball belted out of play to the right. Strike 1. Wong homered in the first. Nate Lowe then homered 2 innings later. 2-3-0 for the Bulls. And no hits yet for Syracuse through 5. Pitch from Oswalt inside on Gale, 1-1. Had a conversation with Dalton Kelly before the game today because he and Oswalt are connected, although Kelly didn't realize they were. Details in a moment after the weather.
That's a great teaser.
Breaking ball for a strike. So Dalton Kelly played his college ball at University of California, Santa Barbara. He was part of the first full recruiting class of then first-year head coach Andrew Chekas. This one shot through the right side, a base hit for Gale. Liriano will glove it up, and Gale knocking it through the second base area. Short swing on a 1-2 fastball, and a leadoff base runner for Durham.
Protecting the outside part of the plate. Gale does an over swing, gets the barrel right to this ball that's located well by Oswalt, but shoots it through the right side. That's a good 2-strike approach. Quentin McCracken telling him how much he liked it. Bulls have a base runner.
Well, Gale has swung well the last couple of days. 2 hits last night, 2-run single. Tonight, outside of the home runs by Wong and Lowe, the only other hits belong to Gale. He's 2 for 2. Mac James in the box. Swings away and misses a slider for strike 1. But Corey Oswalt was a signee to go play at Cal Santa Barbara. He was also a 7th-round pick out of Madison High in San Diego by the Mets, and decided to sign with the Mets and go play pro ball instead of going to play for UCSB, where he and Dalton Kelly would have been classmates, teammates, as that foul gets a bit of the right leg of Ali Sanchez, strike 2. But I asked Dalton about, did you know Oswalt? Did you meet him? Did you come across him either playing high school games or showcase games in high school, and then know you're in the same class? He said, no, we never came around. So there wasn't any kind of orientation or anything like that because Oswalt had signed in the middle of the summer and began his pro career with the Mets.
Usually the way that happens, I can remember, it's if you're an upperclassman and you're the one doing the recruiting when those recruits come in.
Fastball inside, check swing accidentally by James. He didn't go.
When I was at Arkansas, we had a recruit come in. His name was Pat Listash. And Arkansas wanted him really bad. And to tell you how good a recruiter I was, he ended up going to Arizona State, okay? But
Coach
we did get
fired.
him, and it was customary. You take him around campus,
Sure.
You go to dinner with him, you explain what the program's like in hopes of getting them to come there.
Break ball grounded right up the first baseline, fielded by Herrera, steps on the base for 1, makes a terrific throw to Tejada, who waits for Gale to slide into the tag. That is not an easy play. There was really no angle for Herrera to dump that throw over Rocky Gale, but he did it beautifully. A 3-6 double play.
The only good part about our view is a play like this where you can see the throwing lane that he's either created or not, and in this instance it's not. As Herrera had to throw over Rocky Gale and across the lane, and that's the danger you run into hitting that runner and causing a big inning. But the Mets execute, 2 outs.
3-6 double play, bases empty, 2 outs. Robertson fouls off the first pitch, and now Sanchez heads to the mound. Oswalt may have misrepresented the pitch on what Sanchez wanted. So a conversation as they see Robertson for the 3rd time. But Dilson Herrera, I mean, he's played all over this year for Syracuse. He's played more games at third base than any other position, but a lot over at first. But he's played second base, he's played left, he's played rights. We saw Herrera in this league with the Louisville Bats. Oswalt and Sanchez ready this time. There's a fastball fouled right between the legs of Sanchez that bangs up against the umpire's leg, and I think he just held up 4 fingers toward the Bulls dugout. I don't think he was telling the ball boy I need 4 balls. I think he was telling maybe Brady or maybe Dan DeMent in the Bulls dugout, that's 4 times I've been hit. Here's the 0-2. That's downstairs. And I think he's been hit 4 times in this inning alone. 0-2 strikes on Robertson. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Oswalt winds. Here's the righty's pitch. And he misses a little bit down with a slider, and Oswalt takes a step or 2 toward home plate. He really wanted that call. And we've seen mostly a pitcher zone tonight. You could justify that being strike 3, the way this game has been called. Two-two. Upstairs, ball 3.
Hey, what do you think would happen if an umpire walked out of the tunnel with one of those big bubble protectors like they used to use way back when, like Dutch Renner? Do you remember he used that?
Yeah. I think Dutch was Harry Carey's favorite umpire. Swing and a miss on a slider. We'll consider that story in the 6th inning. So Oswalt strikes out Robertson for the 3rd straight time and pitches around a leadoff single. Done with 5 in downtown Durham. Bulls on top of the Syracuse Mets, 2-0. Student Transportation of America now hiring drivers for its new operation in Raleigh. Paid on-site training, no CDLs required. So to apply or get more information, visit stacareers.com or call 919-364-8094. First pitch, 6th inning, sky ball to Kevin Padlow at second base. Tough sky, but seen the entire way by Padlow, who starts at second base for only the 3rd time in his life.
Well, good communication on the infield. That ball went up into the twilight, which is tough to see right now at this time of night. The lights haven't taken full effect. Padlow didn't know where that was, but Mac James was right there, coaching him through and saying, it's right here, I see it, I see it. Then Padlow finally got underneath it to make the play. Just good communication on the infield by the Bulls.
1 away, 6th inning. Now Espinosa. And Pinto's delivery is swinging a well-hit ball to center. Lucas late to react. Kind of drifting to his right, but I think he sees it, and he does. Makes the play.
Hey, one thing we're seeing in this game and a consistent theme is these Syracuse batters are aggressive early in the count.
Yeah, they are.
This is, by my count, the 4th inning where you get pretty much 2 outs on 4 pitches or less.
So 2 quick outs for Pinto. By the way, Syracuse still does not have a hit. They haven't scored a run in this series, but they've been held hitless so far through 5 2/3. And now here's Ruben Tejada. Tejada 0 for 2. Strikeout and a flyout, and Pinto puts one just under the knees. And Michael Perez, gauged by that reaction, thought that was a definite strike. And he's hanging his head, looking down, unhappy with Eric Backus' call. Padlow stationed a bit up the middle at second base. And the wind by Pinto. Here's the 1-0. And he kisses the outside corner there at 94. First place, Gwinnett trailing to Rochester. Tight one, though. It's only 1-0 in the 6th inning. Charlotte leading at Scranton 3-2 in the fourth. Gwinnett 2.5 games up in the division on the Bulls. Charlotte 3.5 back in the wild card, chasing at Durham. And there's a slider for strike 2 on the outer black. One game is being delayed by rain, Louisville and Lehigh Valley. And one game has been postponed already in Norfolk. The Tide's hosting Indianapolis. So they will play 2 tomorrow, and then Indy will come here on Friday. Pinto's 1-2 outside. Two outs, nobody on. All 4 hits in the game belong to Durham. We're in the 6th. Pinto into the wide. Here's the 2-2. Bounced one in, and it's a full count. Now, the escape we saw from Pinto last inning, I'm not sure we see it if it's April or May, because he is a very emotional guy on the mound. Sometimes can have a tough time reining those in. But with the walk, the hit by pitch, the balk, any one of those 3 things could have really set him off. But he's been able to keep that under wraps and contained over the last couple of months. That's probably, to me, been the biggest advancement of his year. Gets an empty swing. Tejada down on strikes. And another hitless inning for the Syracuse offense. Middle of 6 from Durham. Maybe something special brewing at the D-BAP. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. On behalf of the M+ family of brands, all active duty military can attend a Bulls game for free. All you need to do is bring your military ID to the Durham Bulls box office to redeem for a ticket to a ball game. M+ and the Bulls grateful to our military for their continued service. Well, the night is done for Corey Oswalt. Pitched very well tonight. Couple of mistakes on 2 solo home runs, but that was it in his first game back in about 2 weeks. And it gives way now to right-hander Paul Sewald, 29-year-old native of Las Vegas. Oswalt goes 5 innings, allows 4 hits, 2 runs earned on the 2 solo home runs by Nate Lowe and Kean Wong. And Wong leads off the 6th for the Bulls. A season-high 9 strikeouts for Oswalt and 1 walk. So Sewald is on for the 39th time. 4 games with the Mets earlier in the year. And the 1-1 on Wong. Fastball outside at 91. 47 innings, 46 strikeouts for Sewald. His last appearance came on Saturday. Draws 3 left-handed hitters in this Bulls 6th. And a 2-1. Fastball with a little bit of tail. Missed by Wong on the outside corner. 2-2. No action behind Pinto for Durham. Reyes went the first 3 on 36 pitches. Pinto has gone the next 3 in 40. Fastball sliced foul. Wong a little behind. Still 2-2. Wong homer on the 7th pitch that he saw from Oswalt at a long first inning AB. And lays off a slider down and in. And as Oswalt was coming off the mound when that first inning ended, he had a conversation with Sanchez walking toward the dugout, kind of gesturing with his pitching hand on the action on that Wong pitch. He thought it was going to maybe drop down instead of kind of ran in. As Wong sends his fly ball out to left center field, lead to his right, swerving back, locates the ball and makes the catch. Still not the easiest sky to find baseballs. It's getting darker, and give it a couple more minutes, it'll be a lot easier task for Lee as he gestures to the infield. I had that one most of the way.
So-so, I believe, was the sign language for that, but he was able to make the play. The ball hung up in the air long enough where he could make the adjustment.
1 away now, and here's Nate Lowe. Knocked out his 13th Bulls home run in the 3rd inning. And Sewald's first pitch is slapped the other way, foul, strike 1. Well, Sewald, this is my kind of story about Sewald's progression to the big leagues. First off, he went to my niece and nephew's high school, Bishop Gorman, out in Las Vegas. And actually, my niece is coming into the triangle for the first time ever on Friday. You'll meet her on Saturday. Swinging a foul out of play. They were in the same general class, not in the same class, but the same 4-year span at Bishop Gorman with Johnny Field, Joey Rickard. The other
It's an athletic high school, no doubt.
Yeah. Outstanding football, basketball, baseball programs. 0-2 upstairs for a ball. But Seawald out of Bishop Gorman won 3 straight high school state championships there, but he was undrafted. He was a major part, but not the most major parts of that high school championship team. Swing and a miss, and down goes Lowe, chasing 92. So then Seawald, with really no other options, goes to the University of San Diego, pitches there all 4 years, not drafted after his junior year. Taken to the 10th round by the Mets after his senior year, where he was an all-conference player. Signing bonus, $1,000. That's about as low as they come, even for a 10th round pick. And that was in 2012. 6 years later, Seawald is a big leaguer with the New York Mets. He's been with the Mets his entire career. Never really been a big prospect on the way up. But just that attitude of, I'm going to battle and keep battling until they tell me I'm not good enough. And here he is now. Broke into the big leagues with the Mets last year. 4 more games with New York earlier this season. And still plenty of time left in this 29-year-old's career.
You have a uniform, you have a chance.
Yep.
It's simple as that.
1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Perez. Hitless on his birthday, 0 for 2. Now, Seawald's dad was actually drafted out of high school by the Red Sox. Pitch foul away, 1-2. And I'm sure his dad gave his son a lot of advice on what that minor league and professional game is going to be like. His dad is an accountant, as is his mom. And who knows what Seawald would be doing now if he had given up on his dream a few years ago. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Perez. Excellent off-speed pitch, and Seawald thought, like I did, and most everybody else, that was strike 3.
He was walking off the mound.
Suddenly, the strike zone has tightened up a little bit in this inning. And Ali Sanchez was just waiting for the call. He didn't need a Dutch runner call of strike 3. He just was waiting for the bark. Fastball up and away, ball 3. And Michael Perez was drooping his shoulders after a non-strike call in the top of the 6th inning. And that was probably an even more disappointed reaction by Sanchez and Seawald. Full count. Nobody on. And there's ball 4, and boy, Seawald is even more aggravated now. He should be in the dugout grabbing a cup of water. Instead, it's a 2-out walk ahead of Padlo. That walk brought to you by My Eye Doctor. Now that will challenge the mental strength here of Seawald.
Well, it's 2 outs. You should be out of the inning, and now you have that 2-out walk and pop coming to the plate. That can get to be a dangerous situation.
Padlo was fly to right and struck out. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. 6th inning. And Seawald's pitch nips the outside corner, strike 1. Seawald's probably thinking to himself, that was a worse pitch than the one I threw 3 pitches ago. $7:05 tomorrow night for the series finale. Easy throw to first base. Perez back. Seawald ready. And a breaking ball bounce foul into the screen above the Syracuse dugout. Well, one thing I've enjoyed watching over the first couple of days of this series, and again, it's been years since the Mets have been back in this league. You see when the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders are in town, all the Yankees jerseys. You see it when Pawtucket comes into town, all the Red Sox jerseys. For almost any other team in the IL, it's not really the case. You don't even see many Rays jerseys really here. but I've seen more than my fair share of New York Mets jerseys over the first couple of days. And I haven't seen one Tim Tebow jersey at all, but I saw a Gary Carter jersey walking through the PNC Triangle Club before the game today. That was very nostalgic and very appropriate.
A lot of transplanted New Yorkers down here in the area, for sure.
And if you remember back a week and a half ago when the Mets made the deal, when you were here that weekend, they made the deal to acquire Marcus Stroman, and you raised your eyebrows and said, what are they doing? They're out of the wild card race. They're in the wild card race.
They're 2.5 out of the wild card right now.
They won like 12 out of 13. Pitch up and in on Padlo. Backpedals out of the batter's box. The appeal rejected. I mean, they're in it. And they did not deal Syndergaard.
They have DeGrom.
DeGrom swinging the bats. Whole lot of teams within 4 or 5 games of the NL wild card, but the Mets are involved. Down and away from Sewald, and now he's gone to a full count on Padlo after he walked Perez, and he's muttering to himself here with 2 outs. I mean, that non-strike 3 call has now cost him not only a base runner, but about 8 more pitches. And this 6th inning is becoming a little bit more stressful now. Perez will be running on the delivery. 3-2, 2 outs. And Padlo is a guy who can hurt you. Here's the pitch, and it's low and away, and it's now consecutive walks from Sewald. And I would not at all be surprised if the pitching coach for Syracuse, Glenn Abbott, pays a mound visit. Sanchez, his catcher, certainly noticing the ratcheting up of the frustration. Abbott remains in the dugout for Syracuse. Meeting ends. Meanwhile, the Mets, they won 6 straight. They are now a game out of the second wild card. Washington is the wild card leader. Philadelphia in WC2 position. And then it's the Mets, it's the Cardinals, it's the Brewers, all 1 game behind. Arizona 2.5 back. San Fran 4 out. The Reds are 4.5 out. Breaking ball dumped in the dirt. Ball 1. And heck, you could even say San Diego and Colorado aren't out of it. 6.5 and 7.5 back of the second wild card, but they have half a dozen teams to pass, which will make it even more challenging. But here we are, early August, still a couple months left to go. So many teams in the NL are still involved. 1-0 pitch from Sewald. A swing and a fly ball swatted to right center. Liriano coming in. He'll make the catch, and Sewald gets through it. Couple of walks with 2 outs. He hangs another 0. Well, head of the 7th inning. Pinto stays in. Syracuse still hitless. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Bulls baseball brought to you in part by Wet Rock Resources, a diversified real estate development, farming, and financial services company that's based right here in downtown Durham. For details, check out their website, wetrockresources.com. And also by Centplex Building Services. Visit centplex.com to see how they can help clean up your business. Ricardo Pinto for his 4th inning of work. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Home run by Wong in the 1st, Lowe in the 3rd, and that has been it. Syracuse has had a grand total of 3 base runners, 2 walks, 1 got hit, all stranded. First pitch from Pinto. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. And Scott, I have never seen you peruse an opposing team's media guide as diligently as you have been over the last 90 seconds during that break. What have you found?
I am shocked.
My gosh, I need to know.
There is nothing. It's just, I go back to the section of who used to play on this team, and I'm listed, so it means I'm official. I am somebody.
Nathan R. Johnson. There's a high fly ball hooking down the left field line. Trouble if it's fair. Into the corner, and Kian Wong makes the catch in fair territory. Runs that ball down, hooking away from him. And there is very little foul territory when he get past that white paint. And Wong was sprinting into darkness and made the backhand catch.
There is no substitute for speed. Kian Wong's got plenty of that. He took a pretty good route, but the speed allows him to make up this ground and venture into that corner where the lights cast a little bit of a shadow. The nuances and the contours of the D-BAP, but Wong made it look easy, and it's an important out.
First out, 7th inning. Would have been fair if the ball goes off his glove and lands. Swing and a miss, and a breaking ball to Alcantara. Well, every special pitching night needs generally one big play. Maybe that was the one. Kian Wong playing in the outfield for the first time since June 3rd. Here's the 0-2 from Pinto. A swing and a miss and a pitch in the dirt. Blocked by Perez. Fires down the line. And there are 2 outs as Alcantara strikes out for the first time. That is number 5 by Pinto. 2 outs and nobody on. Brings up Blanco. And as you mentioned earlier in the game, the aggressive early count swings from Syracuse, but the command of Reyes and Pinto has been exemplary tonight. Break ball popped up, and the Bulls are going to get through 7 hitless innings. Behind the third base bag, Nate Lowe makes a 2-handed catch, and the Bulls are 6 outs away from history. A 1-2-3 7th, and Pinto's short pitch count in excellent shape. Stretch time from Durham. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Bulls 2, Syracuse nothing. Last of the 7th inning. Bulls baseball brought to you by our friends at the Angus Barn, who are proudly serving the Durham area as the exclusive caterer for the ATC's Bay 7 Catering Hall, as well as the official sponsor of the Bulls Hit Bull Win Steak promotion. Third pitcher of the night for Syracuse. It is right-hander Steven Nagosic, 24 years of age. Seawald through that 6th inning. Couple of walks, 1 strikeout, no runs. And now Nagosic on for the 14th time. And how about this for the beginning of your career here with Syracuse? 19 2/3 innings, no earned runs against Nagosic yet. And the right-hander's pitches slice out of play down the left side. And it's 0-2. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. Nagosic started the year at Double-A. Came here through Syracuse and has been in the big leagues 7 games with the Mets earlier this season. Lucas leading off the 7th. And the pitch is swinging a miss. It dove into the ground. Good pickup on the short hop by Sanchez. And Lucas strikes out 2-3 officially at first base to begin the 7th.
Well, Nagosic back-footed Lucas there. He threw that breaking ball that was right down and into the back foot under the happy zone. Gets him to swing over the top. It was an effective put-away pitch.
One away, 7th inning. And here is Rocky Gale. 2 out of 2 tonight. Right-handed hitting DH, off-speed into the dirt, ball 1. Nagosic's big league debut came with the Mets back on June the 19th against Atlanta. He's been up and down with New York twice. His most recent appearance about 2.5 weeks ago in San Francisco. 1-0 on the way to Gale. Downstairs, ball 2. Bulls 2, Mets nothing. 7th inning. And Nagosic's delivery low and inside. Tampa Bay beaten earlier today by the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3. Rays are off tomorrow. And then on the road for the next week. Open up a series in Seattle on Friday nights. There's a called strike on the inside corner, 92 from Nagosic. So 3 games in Seattle, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in San Diego, and then back home next weekend against Detroit. This is the soft underbelly of the Rays' schedule. A lot of those teams under 500. There's ball 4 inside and low. Gale is on again. Third time Gale has been on tonight. 2 singles and now a walk. That walk brought to you by My Eye Doctor. Well, the focus certainly on the Bulls in this series has been on the pitching. 5 pitchers last night. Scott combined in a 5-hit shutout. Reyes and Pinto so far combining not only in a shutout but on a no-hitter so far through 7. But 16 consecutive innings of shutout baseball by Durham's pitching staff. Mac James in the right-handed box. Fastball inside, ball 1. Pinto through his 4 innings, 47 pitches. An average of less than 12 an inning. 1-0, breaking pitch on the inside corner. I mean, that's right on par with what Arturo Reyes did over his 3 innings. So if you take the average number of hitters, barely over 3 an inning, I mean, hitters have seen about 3 or 4 pitches in at bat, and that's it. Not making the Bulls pitching staff work at all. Little check swing, slow roller towards short, cut off by Alcantara. He'll throw to second base and just get the force on Gale. Gale slid in hard, lifting Espinosa up off of his feet. It's almost hurdling Gale, but still got the out there as James reaches on the fielder's choice.
Frankly, I was surprised Alcantara went to second on that ball. It was a risky play. You run the risk of throwing that ball into right field, but he doesn't. It's a feed to the second baseman, Espinosa, as Alcantara had to field that on the run, and it is the clean out. It's a wise play by Espinosa to just take the out and not try to turn that double play. Runner now at first. The order turns over.
2 outs. First pitch in the dirt on Daniel Robertson. Nagosic out of the University of Oregon. Kid who's been on the national stage even as a early teenager, part of Team USA's under 14 travel squad. Closer mainly with Oregon over his career before he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Robertson. Small lead by James at first base, held on by Herrera. Bulls 2, Mets nothing, 7th inning. Here's the pitch, swinging a ground ball, tomahawked out to short. Tejada fields, easy play this time at second base. 6-4 in the force on James, and the Bulls do not score in the 7th. With his 7, 8, 9 hitters facing Pinto, the Bulls are 6 outs away from history. Bulls 2, Mets nothing through 7.
Leading off for the Mets, the right fielder, number 28, Reimer Liriano.
Durham Bulls baseball brought to you by Campbell Law School in downtown Raleigh, where you can earn a life-changing degree at your pace. Learn more at law.campbell.edu/flex. Top of the 8th, Pinto returns. Draws the bottom tier of the order for Syracuse. It begins with Reimer Liriano. 2, 4, and 0 for the Bulls. 0, 0, and 0 for Syracuse. Ball 1 wide from Pinto. Action about to begin for Syracuse, the pen. Another right-hander throwing. And Pinto winding up. Shift up the middle, and Pinto a little bit tight. 2-0 on Liriano. The kick in the 2-0. A full take by Liriano at 2-1. Gwinnett now trailing Rochester in the 7th inning by a 2-0 score. And Charlotte has taken a 5-2 lead on Scranton. That game is now in the 6th. 2-1, swing and a miss. It was a change again. Back-to-back straight changes from Pinto. 2-2. Pinto reads the sign from Michael Perez. Time called. Well, this would be some kind of birthday present for Perez, would it not? And usually you're looking for the big hit on your birthday. Maybe something else wrapped inside the present. Foul tip, and Perez couldn't hang on to it and upset with himself.
That foul tip on that slider, it hits right off Perez's glove. He thought he could hang on if he does. Of course, Liriano's retired.
May have jammed that left thumb as well inside that mitt.
Well, and that's exactly what Eric Backus is doing, is giving him time to make sure that Perez is okay.
That might have been the disappointed kind of gesture that I saw. It might have been, oh, my thumb got just jammed instead. 2-2. Pinto looks in over the tip of his glove, steps into the wine, and the pitch outside. This is the fourth 3-ball count of the night. 25th batter for Syracuse. They have not forced the Bulls pitching staff to exert themselves. Here's the 3-2, down and in, and that was not close. So a lot of change-ups late in that plate appearance from Ricardo Pinto, and a walk to Liriano starts the 8th inning.
No action yet in the Durham bullpen, but Pinto tries to attack Liriano with those changeups, seeing if he's going to be aggressive and offer. It's a pretty good take. He finds his way to first base, leadoff batter, and now brings the tying run to the plate.
We saw Cole Seltzer pitch a couple of innings last night for Durham. Hobie Milner's had several days off now, with Sunday's rain out and the off day. Haven't seen Milner since back on Friday. Now this is a right-handed heavy lineup for Syracuse. Pitch on Sanchez is tapped away, because there are a couple of switch hitters that would turn around and bat right-handed against Milner if he's the man coming in for the ninth. One strike counts on Sanchez. A lead at first by Liriano. And Pinto coming home, a swing and a miss. There's that changeup again, just dipping below the barrel of Ali Sanchez's bat. Strike two. Braxton Lee next. Now a left-hander throwing for Syracuse. Here's the 0-2. Downstairs, knocked down by Perez. Now, speaking of Hobie Milner, I ran into him at the Bulls clubhouse before the game. It was an unusual noise I heard from the training room. It was Milner and Cronenworth laughing and cheering as they were watching the TV monitor in the training room. They were watching the, I guess, World Tetris Championship that was being televised for some reason. Here's the 1-2. Oh, it came hard and in. I think it caught him on the elbow, and it did. Sanchez got hits. It was a Pinto fastball that got away from him. And now the tying runs are on with nobody out in the 8th inning.
It got him right on the armor. He was wearing an elbow pad, and that ball just ran up and in. Clearly wasn't intentional, but Sanchez didn't like it. You're not going to throw at a hitter anyway in that situation.
Well, now that seriously changes the landscape of this 8th inning. Tied runs are on. Nobody out. And Deshenko Ricardo is about to head down into the Durham Bulls bullpen. Lee, a left-hander, is up. Then you have the top of the order, and Rajay Davis. Now again, keep in mind, we're supposed to see Jose Alvarado tonight as well, throw back-to-back days, and that's the man who is now up for Durham. That was the assignment when Alvarado was assigned to the Bulls in this big league rehab, was to throw back-to-back days. Struggled with his command last night, but he now is beginning to get loose. Tying runs are on, nobody out. Bulls 2, Mets nothing, 8th inning. And now it's Braxton Lee, who played for over a year under Brady Williams at AA Montgomery. Left-handed, shows butt, and a fastball whistles low, ball one. I mean, there are several subplots developing in this one. Syracuse still does not have a hit, but they have a threat working in this 8th inning. Alvarado is likely going to be getting some work either later in this inning or the 9th. Bulls expect the bunt from Lee. Creeping in at first is James. And here's a late bunt offer, and it's fouled behind the catcher Perez. Strike one.
Yeah, Lee went after that bunt like it was a bunt for a base hit more than it was a sacrifice. He was running out of the box and could not get it down. Tony DeFrancisco is relaying the signs. I would imagine the bunt stays on.
Now Lee has only been here for a couple of weeks. He does not yet have a sacrifice with Syracuse. Corners are coming in. That includes Nate Lowe, who's playing third tonight for Durham. Pinto looks back at second. The bunt is on. A better effort here. Fielded by Pinto. Looks at third. Nothing there. Whips it to Patlow covering. And the out on lead. Well, it's worth it to take a peek there for Pinto. Wasn't a perfect bunt. Had some pace on it. But Pinto did not want to rush that throw and really open up the floodgates for a potential big inning. Tying runs move into scoring position with one out ahead of Davis. That was a much better effort by Braxton Lee.
Infield coming in for the Bulls. At least to start. Now it looks like they're back halfway on the corners, and up the middle is completely back.
So the top of the order. Rajay Davis, right-handed hitter, swings away, grounds one is short. This will get a run in, but it's fielded by Robertson, and the throw retires Davis as Liriano scores. It's a 2-1 game in the eighth. Tying run goes to third. Espinosa will come up. Syracuse within a run, but still hitless. And now Brady Williams out of the Bulls dugout, heads to the mound, and we are ready for Jose Alvarado, who has been getting loose over the last couple of minutes. We'll see if he's ready, because Pinto's night is done. Great work by Pinto. 4 2/3 of hitless relief behind Reyes. And he departs with a 1-run lead. Jose Alvarado continues his big league rehab, trying to protect a 1-run lead and trying to maybe complete a no-hitter. 2-1 Bulls in the eighth inning when we return on the Bulls Baseball Network. 2-1 ball game. Bulls lead Syracuse in the eighth inning. And it's left-hander Jose Alvarado, just 24 years of age, power throwing lefty out of Venezuela. We saw him last night in the first of an expected back-to-back big league rehab appearance for the Tampa Bay Rays. And Alvarado, 26 pitches last night, did not allow a run in his inning, but he only threw 12 strikes. We did see his fastball top out at 99 miles an hour. Now the question to me is he ready to come in this game? I mean, he was only up for a couple of minutes, and it didn't look like he was really going full throttle getting loose. But he comes in now with action behind him in the bullpen. Pete Fairbanks now starts to throw. So Espinosa bats, switch hitter. Tying run at third, 2 outs. First pitch swinging. 2-hopper to short. Fielded at the left knee of Robertson. And the throw gets Espinosa. And an index finger to the heavens by Alvarado. And the Bulls get through the eighth inning with a 1-run lead and the no-hitter intact. Bottom of the eighth on the way. Bulls 2, Mets 1. Well, beautiful outing tonight by Ricardo Pinto on the heels of Arturo Reyes' 3 hitless innings. And it took Jose Alvarado 1 pitch to finish up that eighth inning. It was a slider that Espinosa rolled over and bounced out to short. So the bottom of the eighth begins. Bulls 2, Syracuse 1. The Mets still do not have a hit. And it will be Wong, Lowe, and Perez coming up for Durham as Syracuse goes to the bullpen again. Right-hander Tyler Bashlor, 26-year-old, a native of Savannah, Georgia. He checks in for Syracuse. Hobie Milner has now replaced Fairbanks in the bullpen for Durham. And the first pitch swinging, a fastball knocked out of play at 95, strike 1. And for Bashlor, his first appearance since back on Friday when he was pitching for the Mets in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. He's been up and down with the Mets a couple of times this year. 18 games with New York. This is his 25th for Syracuse. And a good off-speed changeup missed. No balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 with a 4.5 here with Syracuse. 0-3 with a 7.16 up with New York. 0-2 counts on Wong. Homered in the first. And the fastball ran in at that front elbow. Now, I guess the real kind of conundrum that Brady Williams and Rick Knapp are in right now, Scott, is does one pitch consist as a back-to-back performance by Alvarado, or do they want to get him more work, knowing that it's a 2-1 game and 3 outs away, and the Bulls still working on a combo no-hitter? Off-speed low on Wong. I don't know how to answer that.
Technically, it is back-to-back
Sure.
because he got up and got
Sure.
hot in the bullpen. It came in and threw a high-stress pitch, got an out.
And he did.
I say yes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Down and in. Well, I did ask Brady in the pregame show, if the fact that he threw 26 mostly erratic pitches last night, if that would shrink the number of pitches that the Rays and the Bulls would be comfortable using him. He said no, there's really no limitations, but he didn't say 1 pitch would be enough. But it very well could be because of the circumstances. 3-2, a little bit wide. The walk begins the Bulls' 8th. But Milner is thrown in the Durham pen. You have Tejada, Herrera, both right-handed hitters, and Alcantara, who's a switch hitter. He would be the 3rd man to bat in the 9th inning. But Milner is looking like a guy who is going to get that 9th inning. And I think the situation and kind of skyline of this game for the Bulls would probably dictate Milner coming into a clean inning. Throw on Wong, he dives in, no tag from Herrera. But you're right, high leverage pitch, 2-1 game, 8th inning, had to make a pitch, threw a very good slider. Bigger lead by Wong. And Basler comes home, and a foul out of play on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to Nate Lowe. Basler, a guy who did not pitch at all, not a single inning in high school. Went on to South Georgia College down in Douglas, Georgia. Made his major league debut last June. Fastball inside, 93. 1-1 on Lowe. When he got to college, he was playing some outfield. He was pitching. He topped as high as 98 miles an hour, and no matter where you're pitching, scouts will find you. High throw, and saved by Herrera at first base. A Lowe homered in the 3rd against Oswaltz. Wong homered in the 1st. Syracuse a run charge against Pinto in the 8th without the benefit of a hit. 1-1. Ground ball up the middle. Chasing. Backhand Espinosa. Flips somehow to Tejada. The relay doubles up low. Masterful by Danny Espinosa. Looked like that ball was destined for the center field grass. Not only did he get it and surround it, he gloved it cleanly and somehow got a toss up to Tejada.
Outstanding play by Espinosa. This is a big league turn as Espinosa dives to his backhand side, does not even transfer the ball to his free hand. It's the highlight flip with the glove or the cesta to his shortstop, Tejada, and they complete the double play. That's as fine of double play as you'll see, and nicely done by the Syracuse Mets.
2 outs, and now Michael Perez, in perhaps his last plate appearance on his 27th birthday, takes strike 1. Struck out, lined out, and walked. Milner wrapping up in the Durham pen, and the pitch is downstairs. Now, to give you some context, the Bulls earlier this year, as a matter of fact, a little more than a month ago, did throw a combined no-hitter on the road in Gwinnett. It was a 7-inning game, game 1 of a doubleheader. They barely had a chance to celebrate it. Had to go in, grab some food, change uniforms, and play a second game. Swing and a miss. Jake Cronenworth opened. He went 1 inning. Luis Santos went the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then Cole Sulson went the final 3 innings. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, none on. And the pitch is fouled off high over the left side roof. Still a 1-2 count. Basler against Perez. Espinosa now stationed out in the right center field grass. Basler's 1-2 is hit hard to center. Lee goes back, jumps up, and it's over his glove. Up against the wall, and now goes actually into the screen and gets hung up behind it. And that will be a ground rule double. Now, Perez is going to run around the bases as the third base umpire, Jose Navas, sprints out there. Perez is going to score in case this is overruled, because Lee immediately put up his hands and said, I can't retrieve this baseball. And Navas, the third base umpire, now agrees. It sailed over Lee's glove, landed short of the warning track, jumped up, and either went through maybe a hole in the screen or in between the screen and the LED. And Lee did exactly what you're told to do here.
Well, this ball was hit on the nose and had some carry. Perez hammers this ball to center field. The toughest ball to make the play on is the line drive right at you. And this was the case for Lee. He couldn't close on this ball over his head. It bounded up and got behind the screen. Had to be checked by Jose Navas and confirmed, but the 2-out double creates a scoring opportunity for the Bulls.
That is double number 6 for Perez. Now Padlo trying to pad the lead. It's only 2-1 in the 8th. Pitch from Basler, down and away, ball 1. Bulls 2, Mets 1, bottom of the 8th. That is the 5th hit for the Bulls and the 5th combined hit in the game. You do the math.
I was told there would be no.
Stepping off, Basler. All or nothing on Padlo. Milner is ready in the Durham pen. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, well spotted at the knees on the outside. Now, I would imagine Milner has been told whether or not he starts the 9th or comes in after a batter. But just to me, watching him in the bullpen, I think he's in to begin the 9th. I think Alvarado's done. Ball and a strike. Padlo deep in the righty box. Here's the pitch. And a fastball singes the outside at 95, knee high. That run Syracuse pushed across in the 8th. First run they've scored in the series in 17 innings. Ball and 2 strikes. Outfield a bit the other way on Padlo. Here's Basler's pitch. And a fastball barely missed outside. 96 that time. Two-two. Into the dirt. Kicks left to the catcher. Sanchez going about halfway as Perez. Wise move. He didn't want to run into the shark right there. Decided to head back to second base. It would have been a very easy throw for Sanchez to make to third.
Nice job by Sanchez to keep in front of that, though, and keep that ball close to home plate. He hopped on that fairly quickly to keep Perez at second. It's a fine defensive play by the Syracuse catcher.
If that ball deflects the other direction, Perez is standing at third base. Coates would bat next. Full count with first base open. Basler on 3-2. Holds at the belts, and here's the pitch. And it's low, a fastball. And it's a walk to Padlo. 2 on, 2 outs in the Bulls' 8th.
Well, the Bulls have the makings of a 2-out rally here as Perez hits that line drive double. Padlo, an excellent at bat where he laid off a number of tough sliders from Basler, but it creates that first and second opportunity. A visit on the mound from Sanchez. Coates coming to the plate.
Bulls leading 2-1, bottom of the 8th. Oswald went 5 innings. You have 2 runs on the 2 solo home runs. Seawald, a scoreless 6th. Nogasek, a scoreless 7th. And now here in the bottom of the 8th, a walk, a double play, but now a double and another walk. And a 2-out threat for the Bulls. Coates 0 for 3, a couple of punch outs. Bassler's delivery, a fastball, went right after him. Popped out of play onto the roof, strike one. Outfield straightaway on Coates. Fastball in, sailed in the air, short right. Espinosa, the second baseman, on the grass, makes the catch. Coates pops out. Bulls strand 2. So the lead is 1. The no-hitter intact. And it will be Milner coming straight in from the bullpen to get the 9th. Bulls 2, Syracuse 1. Stay tuned. A shot at history for the Bulls on the way. Ninth inning from downtown Durham. Bulls 2, Syracuse 1. 2-5-0 for Durham. 1-0-0 for Syracuse. A run scored in the 8th without the benefit of a hit. And now it's the Bulls sidearming closer from the University of Texas, Hobie Milner. 43rd appearance for Durham. Milner 3-3 with a 3.59. He's appeared in the second most games of anybody in this International League this year. And he is 3 outs away from earning save number 8. He's 3 outs away without giving up a hit for the Durham Bulls' 6th ever AAA no-hitter. And it would be the second one in a month and 2 days. Tejada, Herrera, Alcantara. And Milner is ready. So Alvarado done after 1 pitch. Induced the ground out by Espinosa with a time run at 3rd. Here we go. First pitch. Gathers the outside corner at 87. Strike 1.
It gives you a glimpse yet again into my warped mind, but I can't think of George Costanza in the Seinfeld episode leaving on a high note. Alvarado, 1 pitch, gets he out. I'm good. See you later.
A 1 pitch. Break ball, strike 2. 0-2 on Tejada. Well, Milner, a tough read. Fastball, and then you got the sidearm breaking pitch. But his splits are basically break even versus lefty versus righties. Acquired by Tampa Bay in early July of last year from the Philadelphia Phillies. He's 0-2 on Tejada. Here's the pitch, up and away with a fastball. Now, when I was talking with Brady Williams and Sulser and Santos and Cronenworth about that combined no-hitter the Bulls threw last month, they said because it was a 7-inning game and using so many pitchers, they almost lost track. But swing and a miss. Tejada down on strikes. There's out number 1 in the 9th inning.
Well, as a position player who's experienced this, I can tell you that every position player knows exactly what's going on right now. And you're thinking, if it's anywhere close, I'm selling out. I am completely selling out and diving on anything because you want this to happen on your watch.
So 1 out in the 9th inning, 2 outs to go. Bulls lead 2-1, so everything on the line, not just the no-hitter, but the Bulls winning this game of the series. Ball inside, just missed on Herrera. And Herrera probably came the closest of any Met to breaking things up his last time up. He had that hooking fly ball into the left field corner. And Kean Wong ran a country mile and made a sprinting backhand catch that was a fair ball right before he ran up against that side padded wall. Here's the 1-0 from Milner. It's a top of the zone strike on the outside corner. Michael Perez, the Bulls catcher on his birthday, nods in affirmation. Milner drops down, fires home, backdoor breaking ball, strike 2.
It's a nasty pitch that starts off the plate. You give up on it as a hitter, and then it comes back to catch that outside corner. It's a very good pitch from Milner.
Base is empty, 9th inning. 2-1 Bulls. No hits for the Mets. The pitch is high, 2-2. Herrera tugs at the orange jersey, sets in the box, Target from Perez, and the pitch is sliced foul down the right field line. Hit it sharply, but never close to the line. Still 2-2. Now, there have been 5 no-hitters in AAA Bulls franchise history. 4 have been combined. Only 1 has been solo. 2-2. Breaking ball. Popped him up. Shallow left. Robertson from short is on the grass. And the Bulls are an out away. 2 outs in the 9th.
It looked to be another breaking ball from Milner that Herrera got underneath. It's an easy play. The Bulls are 1 out away.
And now it looks like we may be going to the bench for the Syracuse Mets. Alcantara scheduled to hit. Tony DeFrancesco, the manager, lineup card in his hand. And
Tyrone.
It's going to be Tyrone. Well, this makes all the sense in the world. Team leader with 24 home runs. Travis Tyrone, a home run would tie it up. Right-handed hitter. We saw Tyrone last night. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. Milner's first pitch. Breaking ball, sweeps across to the knees. Strike 1.
Is not a comfortable at bat. You've been sitting on the bench for 8 innings. Now you come in and you face this sweeping breaking ball and a tough pitcher in Milner.
0-1 count. Milner delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And the Bulls are a strike away from their 6th ever no-hitter. As I mentioned, the only solo no-hitter was thrown by Justin Marks against Syracuse 3 years ago. 0-2 is high. In that game at NBT Bank Stadium, Marks, I believe, threw 132 pitches. But here, it has been Reyes, it has been Pinto, it has been Alvarado, and Milner is a strike away. The 1-2 to Tyrone. Strike 3 called! Strike 3 called! History is made! 6th AAA no-hitter in Durham Bulls history. At 9:30 on this Wednesday, August 7th evening, Arturo Reyes, Ricardo Pinto, Jose Alvarado, and Hobie Milner throw it. And on the 27th birthday of Bulls catcher Michael Perez, he just blew out the candle. What a present for Perez, and a 2-1 no-hit victory for the Durham Bulls.
Outstanding job by the pitching staff. Reyes, Pinto, Alvarado, and Milner combined on this no-hitter and really shut down this Mets team for the 2nd straight night. The offense for the Bulls was enough. The home runs by Kian Wong and Nate Lowe stand up. What a pitching performance by the Bulls.
2nd no-hitter thrown by the Bulls in the last 33 days. 3 pitchers combined in Gwinnett, 4 pitchers combined tonight. And the best part about it all, Scott, the Bulls don't have a 2nd game to play tonight. They can celebrate in the clubhouse. And that's 2 straight wins for the Bulls and a step closer to trying to lock down a postseason bid as they aim for a 3rd straight Governor's Cup.
Well, this is an outstanding effort again by the pitching staff. And yeah, it's a no-hitter tonight, but keep in mind the same pitching staff shut down the Mets last night as well. They have yet to score a run on their trip here in Durham. And this pitching staff has done a number, and it's been a number of arms. The workload has been spread pretty evenly, but an outstanding job by Reyes and Pinto to get this game started tonight. Alvarado and Milner finish it, but an historic evening and a good win for the Bulls.
So the Bulls take their 2nd straight in this series in historic form tonight. Your final from the DBAP, Durham 2, Syracuse 1. And I'm not sure how they top it, but they aim for a 3-game series sweep tomorrow. Arturo Reyes, Ricardo Pinto, Jose Alvarado, and Hobie Milner throw it. And Michael Perez on birthday number 27 put that mitt around the very last pitch as Tyrone took strike 3. Bulls win it by a final 2-1. TV airtime comes up tomorrow at 7 o'clock. First pitch 7:05 between the Bulls and Syracuse. Radio airtime at 6:50. Again, our final score tonight, Durham 2, Syracuse 1. For Rusty Helser, producer, engineer of Bulls Baseball, and my partner Scott Pose. On the TV side, we say good night. On the radio side, coming back with the Jim Bowdish, Edward Jones post-game show. That's next. Good night from the Bull City, where Durham authors a no-hit 2-1 victory over the Syracuse Chiefs.